The student mule economy, a billion-dollar problem hiding in plain sight. Commentary. The U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network released a report in August that made me cringe. It detailed how Chinese money laundering networks have quietly embedded themselves in the U.S. financial system. The numbers were hard to ignore. More than 137,000 suspicious activity reports tied to CMLNs between 2020 and 2024, covering more than $312 billion in suspect flows. What caught me completely by surprise was the volume of student-linked accounts, ordinary checking accounts held by Chinese nationals studying in the United States, used as high-speed conduits for laundering cartel funds and sidestepping China's currency restrictions. The mirror trick. The opportunity is driven by the interplay between supply and demand. Mexican cartels are sitting on piles of US dollars from drug sales. But Mexico doesn't want those dollars in its banks, and China won't let its citizens convert more than $50,000 worth of yuan into foreign currency each year. That's where the arbitrage begins. Chinese buyers want dollars, and cartels want to offload them without a huge hit on the profits. CMLNs broker the swap, and the activities occur below the radar. They use a method called a mirror flow. It's not a wire transfer, and the transaction doesn't require physically moving the money. Instead, for example, a cartel operative hands off cash in Los Angeles, and a Chinese buyer pays the equivalent amount in yuan to a broker in Guangzhou. The dollars stay in the United States. The yuan stays in China. But the value moves mirrored across two jurisdictions, excluding any formal banking trail that would connect the dots. Echoes of Hawala. If this sounds familiar, it should. It's a next-generation Hawala system. For centuries, Hawala networks have moved money across South Asia and the Middle East without touching a bank. For example, a worker in Dubai gives cash to a Hawaladar. That broker calls his counterpart in Kabul, who releases the equivalent amount to the worker's family. No wires, no paperwork, just a ledger entry and an exchange. After the Taliban returned to power in 2021, Hawala became Afghanistan's financial backbone, used for everything from humanitarian aid to opium proceeds. CMLNs operate on the same principle, but instead of phone calls, they use encrypted apps. Instead of dusty notebooks, they use nested merchant accounts and long-established consumer-facing payment systems such as debit cards, mobile apps, and small dollar transfers. These rails are built for convenience, not scrutiny. That's what allows them to operate in the open. The student who didn't ask questions. Picture Lily. She's 22, studying economics at a university in Boston. Her parents wired her tuition, but she's short on rent. A friend offers her $500 to help move money. She's told it's legal. She agrees. Over the next week, Lily's account lights up. Dozens of deposits, $200 here, $150 there, from strangers. She forwards the money to other accounts, some via Zelle and some via cashier's checks. Meanwhile, in Guangzhou, a broker receives yuan from a buyer who wants to purchase US dollars. Lily never meets the buyer. The cartel never sees the yuan. But the value moves. Her account becomes a hop in a mirror flow. The system sees a student splitting Uber or dinner, and the network sees the mule. From the bank's perspective, Lily appears to be any other student, making modest deposits and frequent transfers, which allows a college kid to live from check to check. Nothing criminal until you zoom out, and the pattern emerges. Hundreds of accounts just like hers, all showing sudden spikes, shared device IDs, and synchronized activity. These are the red flags FinCEN wants banks to catch. The network beneath the surface. This isn't fringe behavior. It's the cornerstone of infrastructure. FinCEN's advisory highlights accounts opened by students, retirees, and homemakers, profiles that pass Know Your Customer checks easily, but later show six-figure turnover and proximity to cash pickup sites or money service businesses. Federal prosecutors have spent exhausting hours outlining how Chinese underground bankers in the United States partner with Mexico-based cartels to move drug dollars using informal value transfer. Student accounts are ideal. Clean KYC, low scrutiny, high throughput. Foreign media have helped confirm the demand side. Chinese nationals seeking dollars outside the foreign exchange cap fuel an underground banking system that pairs yuan payers in China with dollar sellers in the United States. using diaspora accounts to keep liquidity moving. What's the impact? Every dollar laundered through a student mule keeps the fentanyl pipeline alive. Every mirror transaction undermines the banking system. And every misuse of retail rails erodes trust in the platforms millions rely on daily. The process also puts immigrant communities and universities under suspicion, chilling legitimate financial activity and complicating cross-border support. Laborers sending money home to Mexico, Honduras, or Colombia are not in the mix with illicit actions that use similar pathways. The fix isn't blanket bans or profiling. Government and banking institutions need to use precision. Banks need better telemetry, device data, velocity rules, and merchant codes that flag suspicious activity, such as money laundering. Regulators need to harmonize KYC across sectors, especially where student-linked funds touch real estate or shell vendors. Law enforcement needs access to interbank patterns that reveal the network, not just the node. What's needed now isn't just better software or more training. We need a shift in how we see the problem. Student accounts don't start out suspicious. They become suspicious through pattern, velocity, and context. That means smarter onboarding along with real-time coordination between banks, law enforcement, and intel fusion centers. The system needs to recognize when ordinary accounts start behaving like financial switchboards.